I think we are live now.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Hello, everybody. Tonight the
I
interview is
think
with
we're
our
live
friend
now.
Mark de
Yes.
Turk. I'm not gonna hide, this is one of my favorite person to interview. So tonight I'm going to ask a lot of questions connected with your background, how you started, because as many people know, you were part of the jury of Start Young, and a lot of people gave feedback that your comments that you made during the live gave a lot of value. So this is the reason why I'm going to ask you this time questions, how you started, was it hard, because you have a great background, you gave lectures to more than 6,000 managers. So this is a very big thing,
65,000 worldwide.
65
In
worldwide. This is
65,000 worldwide, and in Bulgaria, something like 6,000. Yes.
yeah.
So how I started?
Yeah, how started?
When I was a little kid, I heard my father and uncles. One of the uncles was a politician, the other one was a lawyer, the other one was someone, an engineer, and they were continuously discussing. And I listened to them and I said, let me somehow advise them. This was my dream. You know, like in the past, you had kings, and next to the king, you had these advisors, right? And yeah, this dream came very early. I don't remember exactly at what age, but I had this dream. And then everything I did basically was into that direction, meaning I knew that I had to study not only one thing, I had to study many things, being interested in many things. And if you would ask me what is my drive, well, first is of course this dream. I still have this dream, and I will never lose this dream. And second, I'm interested in life. That means interested in people, in everything what people do. This can be being interested in how a clochard is getting money to how a president of a country is surviving. Actually, this is yeah, the thing which drives me. I'm really interested in people. Okay.
How things work.
Yes.
And
And yeah.
did you have the support from your family that you needed?
No. No.
No.
No.
So
And this is a message to all entrepreneurs. Don't expect people around you to support you, because you know it's a very interesting planet. It's a planet where the push is everyone thinks the same somehow, and everyone goes the same way. And sometimes you have an idiot between brackets who has some ideas, and of course, if the ideas are a little bit too strange and too far away, you have attacks. So it's a matter of keeping, on the one hand, keeping your dream, keeping your facts, what you know, and on the other hand, having enough PR to make it acceptable step by step. Yes, but no, I didn't have, the only support I had from my father and my mother was that they paid me my studies, and they give me food and support in when I was in school, etc. That, of course, and for that I am very grateful to them, but not spiritually or mentally or help in the business, or no, I didn't.
but now you have full support from your family, because as far as I know, you work together with your wife.
Yeah, and so when I was young, my family was my father, my mother, and my my two brothers, and my sister.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's another story, but there I've chosen my wife, right? You don't necessarily always choose your mother, but I've chosen my wife, and there we are one, and this is very strong. Also, this is the next drive, is that your partner in life can have you. We are not a classical couple to say that both we make food, both we wash, and both we work, and we see who is the best in what situation. Yeah, very important, by the way, that your direct partner with whom you share your bed is behind you and you are behind the other. That's very important, like you and your husband, I think.
Yeah, we
Eva.
really support family businesses because we believe that this is the
Yeah.
strongest form of business and most successful.
Yes, yes. If it's man and wife, if the entrepreneur has a partner who is behind it, that's fantastic. But it's very rare, also in Bulgaria, that you have the father who is entrepreneur, the mother who helps, yes, but then the kids and then the Venuti or the kids of the kids are not necessarily supporting, and there starts the problem.
And
Uh,
were you introduced to a Scientologist before you started a business or after that? And did that help you expand your business? Can you tell the story about you meeting?
yes, I can. Scientology definitely helped me, and it helps everyone who starts with it because it's knowing how to know. Skie logos, knowing how to know. Um, I was manager of a restaurant and at the same time consultant. And I encountered a lecture on emotions of a Scientologist. And I said, oh my God, I need to know more about this. And then I really put myself into it. Like when I start something, I go till the end, not in Bulgarian, they say puchti. In Belgium, we say not a muscle. It's either fish or meat and not in the middle.
Mhm.
So I went to it. And of course, Scientology helped me a lot. It helped me a lot in how to fast achieve the success. It's a way to know how to know and what to do, right? And not only me, I mean, all my friends who are Scientologists, one of them is not really a friend, he's more a comrade, is Grant Cadon. Yeah, he also said, by the way, Grant Cadon, before being Scientologist, he was under the drugs, and Scientology helped him to get rid of it. Like my wife also, 40 years ago, she had some problems with drugs, and Scientology helped her to go out of it, right? And since then, she's another person, right? Yeah, definitely. Scientology is a way of life which helped me a lot in my business, but not only in my business, also in the family, in social relations, for myself. Yep.
Great. And related to Start Young and your part in Start Young, I want to ask you, do you think that every business has fueled for growth? Or does it matter if it's a startup or already a big firm? Do you think that every business has placed for growth?
Well, the game on this planet is to expand, right? Everything, whether a person, a plant, animal, has the idea to survive and to grow, okay? On different angles for themselves, for the family, for their business, in the group, etc. Just to give you one example, in 1950, I think there was 3 billion people on this planet. Now we are almost 8 billion people. So the expansion is the way of life. That's why we have a weekly broadcast called Samo na gore in Bulgarian, means you can only go up. Okay, now, but it also depends on the goal of the business. To give you an example, if the goal of the business is to sell drugs, sooner or later, life will attack it. And that's a Scientology principle. If your goal is not surviving for you, for the family, for the groups, for humanity, if it is somehow attacking one of these things, sooner or later, the business will go down. And history has many examples in history. There are many examples in history about that. So if the goal is good and for you and for the family and help survival of groups and people, humanity in general, and the nature, right? And there is also a beauty in it. There is also aesthetics in it. At that moment, it cannot, I will say differently, Eva, it cannot do anything else but expand. And so much that if it contracts, there is people actually stopping the expansion. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
This is in one of my seminars, I talk about, if you really follow the drive in life to do good things for survival of you, family, group, humanity, nature, and spirituality, if you really do this, you cannot do anything else but survive. Life will help you, but life will attack you if you don't do it. And this you see also. I mean, that means the following: if you, for the young starters, if your dream is just to make money, forget it. Forget it. Sooner or later, life will attack you. If your dream is just to survive for one element and forgetting all the other elements, forget it. Life will attack you. That's why in the last jury and the last event in Plovdiv, I was talking about the trends of the future, meaning the following: a young entrepreneur has to look a little bit at the future trends on this planet. And there is quite some people who talk about this. Ron Hubbard talks about this, but also Faith Popcorn. She's not Scientologist, but I don't even know if maybe she's Scientologist now, because a lot of people don't say that they are, but then later on they say it. But she's following the trends for the next 20 years. And I will give you some of those trends if this is okay for you, Eva.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, the first trend is what we call younging, being younger, anti-aging. This is a huge trend for the next 20 years. So if you're an entrepreneur in this trend, with an idea in this trend, of course you will expand. The second trend is going into fantasy, That's why you have virtual reality, unfortunately, a lot of drugs, etc. But if your idea goes into, escaping fantasy, it will grow. This is, for the next 20 years, a big trend. Another one is ecology, right? If your idea answers the problem of ecology on this planet, it will, sooner or later, it will expand, even if the classical business might stop it, but it will expand. You cannot stop life, basically. If the trend is going into small lux and cocooning, like feeling good home, etc., it will expand. There is 10 trends, which people can find them on the website of Faith Popcorn. If you follow these 10 trends, the more of those trends you follow, the more life will make you expand, definitely. If you don't follow them, it will be harder. And then big business, for instance, at some moment, they realize they are not doing good things. And then the expansion becomes very difficult and you have contraction. That's why I'm not afraid to talk with, and we did. I gave training to 65,000 managers worldwide, and in Bulgaria, 6,000. Most big guys, ministers, CEOs, founders. I'm not afraid to talk with big founders because I know that they might have a lot of money and be very strong, but sooner or later, they will go down if they don't change something. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I prefer to be like a good mother. You have a son of 10 years old and a son of 2 years old. And the son of 10 years old walks very well and talks very well. But the 2-year-old kid just starts to walk and talk, but it goes better. Now, every good mother will say bravo to the little kid. Do you understand? Because it goes up. And in a world where you validate, you understand this word, validate?
Yes.
Where you validate people who go up and improve, right? And you don't validate people who go down, even if they're very high. That's a world where there's future. If there is another way, like in communism in the past, for instance, where you don't do this, well, there is no future there. You understand?
Yeah, I also wanted to ask you because you said that you trained a lot of company CEOs.
Yes.
In your experience as a consultant, can you give examples? What companies did you give lectures to? What kind of things did you change in those kind of companies? How you help them grow? It's okay to use names and
Yes, I
brands.
will,
It's
I will,
important.
I will not necessarily use the names of the companies,
Yeah,
but I will use the industry, right?
yeah.
So the first category of industry is the restaurant and hotel business. We trained, Derek can tell you, we trained all the managers and all the servitors of Happy just before the crisis, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in contact with them to see how they can survive. That's in Bulgaria, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's for the restaurant business. In the hotel business, we trained, I don't know, maybe 60 hotels in Bulgaria,
Yeah.
high-class hotels, and one hotel is continuously using it and became basically the best hotel in Bulgaria. We have, that's one. The second sector is spa. We trained a lot of spa centers, and one of them, which is Seftopolis, which is famous in Bulgaria right
Yeah.
now. We trained and consulted the owner, Milena, and she's so happy we became friends, you know. Then in the farming business, we have quite some results. In the farming business, going from automatic farm, from Nick Electronics, there I give you a name. We are like partners since 15 years since the beginning of Bulgaria. There was a small company, now it's a big company who is giving services, IT services and machines to farmers, the big farmers. And then in the big farms, we even went to how to give over the farm, because there is a problem, from the father to the son, you know, how to give over the farm. There we helped a lot, big farms, and I cannot give you the names there
Yeah.
because this is for the consulting. We are very, you know, discreet. In
Yeah.
training is different. That's in the farming business. Then we have, I mean, I give you the big ones. Then we have the building contracting business. This goes from Glavburga, Stroy to Cordell, where we train managers, lower level managers, Chapisha, for instance, with these big contracts and with these big buildings. We trained those people and okay, they go better in business. Now, at the same time, those people have families and there my wife intervenes. Like what to do when your kids take drugs, you know, very important today, very important. How to talk with them, how to make sure that they stop this. That's for the parents. What to do when your kid is nervous. This for the smaller kids, as we talked about study last time, right?
Yes.
We follow this book on learning how to learn, and also as a parent, what to do with your kids. When they are nervous, it's very simple. Don't give them medication. Just make sure they have no misunderstood words. It's as simple as that. You know, this is 100% Scientology technology, right?
Yeah.
So that's then the social part, you know, to make those managers, because what I see is today the most big guys, they have problems with finding people, okay?
Yeah.
What we do there, we have a network of people who are recruiters and we help them. And we have a test which is unique, a personality test, which is very precise and which is used worldwide. Not only me is using it, but this is used worldwide, was created by Ron Hubbard himself. And we use this test to say to the guys, be careful on that, and that's the positive, that's, you know, like a kind of SWOT analysis for when you hire people. That's a test, okay?
Yeah.
The other problem of most CEOs is that they are pujanikari. You know, they do the job themselves. And there we have, of course, our free boss program, which is unique, which is a technology, it works. And when you follow like a technology, when you follow the exact steps, you become a free boss. So that's why our company is called ID's Free Boss, right? And there we have, to give you one example, a lady, I will not tell you the name, but she was like almost crazy, you know. She had 15 video cameras in her office to check everyone, you know. She became almost crazy, you know.
Yeah.
We first give training, we consulted her, and then she telephoned me. She said, Mark, thank you very much. I'm now in Germany. For the first time in 5 years, I can take 2 weeks holiday. You understand?
Yeah.
And this kind of things we have. And some people don't believe it, but okay, if you come, you will see. We can guarantee a product if the person follows it's a technology, right? So that's for the Free Boss program, right? And then we have a lot of, in Bulgaria at least, families. They ask themselves, how can I give over my company to my family, etc., etc. And there we help them. And this is especially in the farming and the building contracting business, and in some engineering, production engineering companies where we do this. Yep, this is what I'm most proud of. You know, when the boss says I can take holiday. One guy is now living in Latin America. The company runs by itself. I give one girl who was under the drugs seriously is now out of it, and not only out of it, but also find a job and is very happy and is going better. You know, all these natural. These are things we are proud of, and we can count on, let's say, 80%. No, let's say 75% of our people write us success stories. They write us, thank you very much, etc. This is our strength. Yeah, but it's our strength. Why? Because we use Scientology. Scientology is a technology in expansion in business, a technology in life, a technology to study. There is also technology about partners. My wife and me are married 26, almost 27 years, and we love each other. Okay, so there is different technologies we use. Meaning, let's see it like in the Renaissance. You know, in the Renaissance you had people, they were advising others on different aspects, from philosophy to business, and that's what we do. In that we are unique. We are unique. Yep.
Very nice. And can you tell me also what would be the greatest difficult for a consultant when, for example, when you consult a company, what is the most difficult for you? Do you have company that you refuse to consult?
Of course. Of course. I'm now at the stage, because after 30 years of training consulting, I can say no to people, right? In the beginning, this is more difficult. So, but now I do. For instance, I never consult psychopharmaceutical industry. You know, pharmaceutical industry, no problem. Pfizer, for instance, asked me to give a training in Belgium. How much was it? 5,000 euro per day they wanted to give. And I said no, because Pfizer is also making some psychopharmaceutical things. Yeah. So psychopharmaceutical, guns, drugs, of course, we are not helping, right? But all other businesses, we can help if the person really wants it. Because, okay, you have training and consulting. In training, you give training, people do some things, etc. 6 months later, they need more training, right? 3 to 6 months. In our business, because we have the learning how to learn technology, we can guarantee 6 months. But after that, they have to do some training again, otherwise they forget it, etc. That's one thing. On the other hand, consulting, because when we deliver consulting, we have two ways. Either we say, okay, you pay us a fee, right? Or we go together with you, we take a commission, right? And for now, we have like many companies where we take a commission, where we say, okay, we take the risk together, right? But the condition is blah, blah, blah. We have a code where we want the people to follow this code, to be honest with us, for each coaching session, not to drink alcohol for 24 hours, not to play with drugs, not to play with black money and all this stuff like that. And then we say, if you do this, we can guarantee you go up. And we take a commission and they have their big part of the win. So that's a win-win situation, right?
Yeah.
And in that case, the most difficult thing for us as consultants is to make people really follow the steps. You know, in Bulgaria, there is a very interesting phenomenon. I love Bulgarian people, but there is a lot of Bulgarian people who are, they try many things, you know. I tried this, I tried this, I tried this, I tried this, and then they make a mix, but they are not going deep into the things. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
While if a company wants to grow together with us, it's a technology. So A plus B is C. 1 plus 2 is 1 plus 1 is 2. It's not 3, right? So they have to follow a certain way of working, which guarantees success. And that's not always easy in this country. That's not always easy. And the second thing, that's for the training, which is not easy in Bulgaria, is that, again, I love Bulgarian people, really. They are close to my heart. But on the other hand, a lot of Bulgarian people, they think they know everything. And they don't need to train, you know. They don't need to study. But now this is changing. 15 years ago, when I arrived here, this was really like that. It was really
Like mentality.
difficult.
The mentality for
the mentality, I know everything, I don't have to learn, right? Now this is changing, luckily and not luckily, because it's changing because of the crisis. But this mentality is still there. While, for instance, I give you an example. In Russia, it's very simple. When I give a training in Russia, there is minimally 300 people. Because in Russia, people want information. Do you understand? Or in Ukraine, when I go to Ukraine, there was 3,000 people. They want information. While here in Bulgaria, they think they have information, but actually they don't. Huh? They do not have necessarily all the information. That's the two difficulties that I see, one in training and one in consulting. For the rest, it goes well. We grow, we go up, some on Agore, and we will continue to do this.
Yes, and let me ask you one closing question, which is, so actually, what kind of business owners are looking for help from consultants?
This is, you talk about Bulgaria, right? Not the rest of the world, because there is difference.
Of course, Bulgaria,
in Bulgaria, the people who are looking for consultants are people who have serious problems. Meaning, the income goes down, not enough people, problems with the family, eventually too much debts. That's one, the biggest category. And the other one are people who are, they think further than just business. They also think spiritual. Those people, these are easy. And they come to us without us doing anything, because they see, Scientology, this is new. Oh, let me know more about it. So there is either the problem in the business or the interest in the spirituality. These are the two entry points for us in the business. Now, on the other hand, my wife, it's more, okay, difficult kids and drugs. So there is the two problems, the main problems.
Yeah.
That's another story.
So basically, most of the people who are looking for help from consultants, they already have a problem. So
yes,
they
either they have a problem or they are interested in higher spiritual levels. They want to change. They are in need of change. Do you understand?
Yeah, maybe it would be more efficient if we're looking for help from consultants before we have the problems.
Of course, or to get trained and to get the data before you get, of course, that is 100%. But this is not the case. Plus, and this has to do with education. In Bulgaria, the education is more like one professor, blah, 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 theoretic. People just take it, they don't think about it, and they become perfect papagallos. And they believe they have all the information, which isn't, because once you start real life, it's different than school, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you have this mentality, I know everything, a little bit macho, you know, topanarki, like they say in Bulgaria. But on the other hand, they don't have this data. And then they fall down. And then they have the proudness not to show it. You know, they are too proud to show that they have problems. But okay, our job is to go through this mask and to say, listen, guy, you're really in the shit. You know, you really want help. Okay, you don't have money. Well, let's work together on commission and we bring you up.
And how do you think we can change this kind of mentality when it's too late for education? For example, with the children, we can change it with more education, but when with the grown-ups, how can we change this situation?
Good. This is an excellent question. That's our mission. That's our mission. That's basically the why Scientology exists. How can we increase the culture of people and the knowledge and the understanding and the willingness to understand? Well, there is one book called The Way to Happiness. And this booklet we distribute because it's a matter of education. Huh? It's always a matter of education, nothing more. You change the world by education and by ideas, not by guns, and not even by money. It's education. So there is a book called The Way to Happiness, written by Ron Hubbard. Everyone can, by the way, everyone can ask to publish this book with his own logo, because this is not a copyright protected from Scientology. This is the last book Ron Hubbard wrote before he died this life. And this book is a non-religious, universal, moral code. Non-religious, universal, moral code. And it works all over the world. Every time when you have, you know, people who are down, it's not working, you distribute these books and it goes better. In Colombia, for instance, 20 years ago, Colombia was known for the drug cartels and the high crime. Today, and if you look at the statistics worldwide on crime, today Colombia went seriously down in crime. Why? And this is definitely true. My friends in the Caribs, they printed, I think, 3 million of these books, and they distributed them to the people to make sure that people start to think a little bit more, you understand? So the game with people above, let's say, 40 years old is to educate, and give them simple rules of life. You understand, Eva?
Yeah, and
If you allow me, I will go a little bit deeper there, because you have two terminologies. You have immoral and amoral. Let me explain. Amoral means people don't know the morality. They don't know what is good and bad. Okay? Immoral means they know what is good and bad, but they don't do it. You know, that's immoral. Now, what I've seen in Bulgaria, there is three different generations. You have the generation which was already working in socialistic time, right? Those people are now end 40s, beginning 50s, you know, and older, right? This is one mentality. This is one mentality. Then you have the mentality of the young people like you and your husband, who were like 16, 17, I don't know, you were not, you were younger, but maybe Plamen was 14, 15, when the glasnost and the perestroika came, right? Yeah. That's another mentality. And then you have the newborns now. Okay, now The ones on 40 and above, they somehow have an idea of morality, right? But they don't know what to do. It's too late and they are too negative, etc. So there, the point is the book, Way to Happiness and Self-Analysis, to bring them up, to bring them emotionally back into, yes, something can be done about it. That's one. Not yours, but Plummen's generation, they learned that everything is possible, right? After 16, 17, the total freedom, everything is possible, right? So there, these people, they need how to do things. And then the young people who are now born, or like 5, 6, maybe max 10, 12 years old, they are in an amoral state. They don't know what is good and bad. And these people need education in, okay, there is simple rules in life,
Mm-hmm.
And these three, we have a plan. And this is basically the reason I stay in this country. I said sometimes, I tell you, sometimes I said, oh my God, difficult country, right? But I said, no, come on, let's go through it. Let's help these people here because they deserve it and they are good people. So, but there is three things. So 1, 2, 3. What is good and bad? The other ones, how to do it. And the older ones is there is hope. These are three different messages. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a field for expansion as well.
I think so. I'm an optimist. I think that even the people who are 40, 50, 60, they can still change. I myself, 60 years old, I change every day, life is a continuous change and a continuous improvement till you die. You can take holiday when you die.
Yeah, of course. We will be very happy to share this book. If you have it in your online store, we can share a link in the group because I think it
Yeah,
will be very helpful for everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, we will text later after the interview, so you can send me the link and we can share
Books,
this book.
books for you. It's very simple. Booksforyou.info. Then I will send you the link. Booksforyou.info.
Yeah, thank you. It was very nice interview. You give so much value, and I can't wait to see your performance on the Start Young Varna next week. It will be very interesting. And yeah, thank you very much that you spent an hour this night telling us these stories because it was very interesting and it was filled with so much value.
Благодаря много. My heart goes to the young people who want to start business in this interesting world. And yeah, I will be there to help you guys. Okay?
Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
You too, Eva.
See you soon.
Ciao.
Bye.